On the first show of the series, I took a walk around Manchester's Trafford Centre to see how they were preparing to safely reopen their doors. But, as we discovered on Monday, since then, footfall across the country has been much lower than hoped. And now the centre's owners, Into, have announced they're in financial trouble and could actually have to close some of their UK sites.
It's pretty worrying news. Loads of jobs tied up there as well. So what is the answer? How do retailers convince us that it's in our interest to return to the high street? Joining us now is expert in consumer experience, Martin Newman. It seems pretty clear, even from this early stage, Martin, that some of these retailers have got it right and people are returning. We're seeing queues at places like, Primark and Nike, IKEA, Bicester Shopping Village, and some really haven't. So what's the difference? What are they getting right and wrong?
Well, I think, first of all, they obviously have to create an environment that's safe and that makes us all feel we can go into, and that it's safe, and that social distancing and PPE and everything else is being responded to appropriately. I think it's a combination of discounts, but I think the brands that you've mentioned already, it's an experience. Whether you like Primark or you don't like Primark, it's a fashion extravaganza, bargains throughout the store very relevant for the target audience that they're dealing with. Nike's a brilliant experience. IKEA arguably is a little bit Marmite. Some people love it, some people don't. But people go there for a day out, Bicester Village. People get in their cars, they go there, they spend half a day there, they have something to eat, they trawl around all the stores, and of course they're looking for a bargain as well. And I think if retailers can provide the safety, a discount or a bargain along with the right customer experience, they're on to a winner.
Yeah, talking of discounts, I mean, some of the big chains are offering huge discounts right now, aren't they? I mean, what would you say are the best deals out there? And why are the discounts so big right now?
Great question, Kim. Most of the best discounts are in fashion, because sadly the fashion brands have got a lot of stock to clear. And if they don't do that soon, unfortunately, next year's fashion is going to look like this year's fashion. So they've got to get cash in, and they've got very heavy discounts, like the Topshop and ASOS, up to 70% off. But the department stores as well, John Lewis, up to 70% off, M&S, up to 50% off, and they're also giving a donation of 10% of the order price to NHS charities. Interestingly, the DIY sector doesn't seem to be doing a lot at the moment, and I think that's because we've all been staying home, and many of us will continue to do so. They've got a captive audience as we're looking to do up our houses and our gardens and invest in a lot of DIY products.
I think the thing that's come through during this time is just how much people appreciate their local shops, and they've really come through, gone above and beyond in a lot of cases where maybe some of the bigger retailers haven't been able to. Here's Lynn McGowan, for instance.
My local hero is Kirk Pet Supplies. I'd like to say a big thank you on behalf of the dog, the budgies, the guinea pigs, the toads, the tortoises, the bearded dragon and the stick insects. I just want to say thank you very much, Gordon, for remaining open through lockdown. Thanks to you, my pets haven't went hungry, because people do forget that pets need fed through this crisis, as well as us humans. Also, thank you for having great social distance in place, that it's safe for my son to go along and collect the items. As you know, I can't go because I'm in shielding. So I just want to say a big thank you, Gordon, for remaining open through lockdown and sourcing all the items I need. Thank you.
Big up the Lawrence Kirk Pet Supplies. Apparently it's so successful that the stick insect has put on weight. What is it about that local shop experience, that kind of bond that Lynn's talking about there, that is so right and feels so good?
Sure. It's more personable. You walk in, I have a laundress near me in North London, and I go in there, he knows my name, he knows my family. They always take time to ask me how I am, how my family is, and they know what I want to buy, and so they've already got products set aside for me. And I think that a lot of the big national retailers have lost that sort of local experience. So I think it's the localisation, being able to localise product, the customer experience, and having that engagement with customers that really makes the independents stand out, if you like.
So do we think this is a chance then now for some of those major brands to be doing something completely different and to be more inventive?
Totally. I think they need to think big, but I think they need to act local, and I think that's the thing they've lost. I do quite a lot of videos of the high street, and I go and ask consumers what they like and what they don't like about shopping online and offline. And often, when you talk to them about the in-store experience, they say, well, it's not that personable, but also it's homogenous. You know, if I go from one town to another town to another town, the brands are the same, the products are the same, and I think they've got to differentiate. And the best way of doing that, I think, is by empowering the people that run their stores, the national retailers, empower the store managers to localise the product assortment, localise the customer experience, even get involved in local marketing. And I think that would be a great driver for driving the type of engagement that would bring consumers back into their stores.
Do you think this is an evolution? In the same way we evolved away from the high street to an extent to out-of-town retail centres, are we now evolving away from those, you know, to that personalised experience? Is this a natural flow? Is it just going to happen?
I was predicting it was going to happen anyway, and I think that obviously what we've gone through with the coronavirus is going to accelerate that, because many consumers are going to want to stay local and shop local. There's going to be an increase in work from home. That's also going to mean that more people are invariably going to be shopping more locally. So I do think we're going to see a return to that in a fairly significant way, and maybe retail, the high street's going to look a little bit like it did back in the 1950s and 1960s.
That's incredible. It's going to be very interesting to watch. Thank you, Martin. Big up your local shops and your local shopkeepers who have had it tough through this period. If you can support them, do whatever you can.